Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Kimbo here, and it's time for an epic discussion video. And I'm not gonna be PG with this because I don't feel like it. So yeah, whatever flies out of my face hole, it's gonna be said. So with this, we're gonna have a discussion video on my predictions for season 3 or arc 3 of the show. So at the time of watching this, I've seen up till episode 95, I think. So don't spoil me on shit. I don't want to know. You'll find that out with the episode reaction, which will come as soon as it's subbed, which last time I checked, it still wasn't subbed the latest episode. So yeah, when it gets subbed, I'll do an episode reaction for that. And if you don't want any spoilers for the show or arc 2 or season 2, anything like that, you got 5 seconds to click away, out of respect, of course. All right, so with that, arc 2. First of all, my overall thoughts on the show. Some people don't like the slower pace with it, which I don't even think it's that slow of a pace compared to how things have been before. They're following the manga alongside the anime a lot more than they've done with previous series, because I know with Burst it was definitely separate, because like some of the manga stuff that happened, especially i.e. season 5, would have loved to see in actual Super King or Surge, because in Season 5, when it comes to the manga, here's an example for differences. Fi, Gwen, and Delta were all in like the top 10 ranked bladers, and they showed up in that season. Hell, they even made like Death and Abyss Diabolos, you know what I mean? Even though they never showed up in the show. But like they paid homage, I guess, to the manga with that, with Delta. And I wish that he would have actually sat and got like his own like part in it. But yeah, that being an example, because that obviously switched up with things like how it was during Super King or Surge. But yeah, but with this series, they are definitely putting in more of, like more closely following the manga with the anime, or at least being really, really close. And then even the timing of it, we see that with the bays, because some of the bays even, like we haven't seen them come out until like way later after we actually got the release from them. And I think they're just starting to get that on check and everything. But yeah, so with that, the main thing being how they're following like the manga with the anime big time and things, like we see, of course, the manga before we see the anime, but it being really similar. But yeah, so with that, arc 1, I liked a lot, even the pacing of it. I thought it was a nice pacing, getting, of course, like some powerful bladers showing up towards the end, because it shows they're building towards the future story while also building the story up now. So the first season, climbing up the top of the X and the 1 tower and Slash Tower, and then season 2 or arc 2 focusing on Solidus Tower, but then also including elements, I guess, of like next arcs or such with it, because well, the first season, it was fully like that focus on the arc and getting up the 1 tower. With season 2, we're seeing that a little bit more, and we've seen that a bit more because we have, Solidus Tower, which you're talking about, the 2nd tower, but also introducing some things with the underworld. So, the underworld, what they mentioned, it's what Chrome's a part of now because he has Impact Drake, Omega giving him Impact Drake, him being possessed fully by the Demon Dragon, and willingly going down this path, I may say at that. He's literally in his, like, it's a mixture of Ryuga in season 1, Metal Fusion, and Red Eye, or Shu, in season 2, a Burst, It's like a little bit of a mix of, like, both those vibes in one, if you will. So it's going to be wild. But with how this has gone, the last time we saw Chrome, he faced Burn. Burn showed up to try to get through to him, and Burn got fucked up. I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Yeah, like Phoenix Wing was sent flying by Impact Drake, and that was just one of the customs. They're definitely gonna focus on the different versions of the customs and stuff, but they're gonna wait till arc 3 with that, or season 3. So I think the big theme for season 3, my prediction, is gonna be the underworld. The main things we haven't seen that we've seen in previous series, I'd say at this stage, is like world championship type of vibes, across the world, going across the world, and this underworld theme, you know what I mean? These are 2 areas where they can expand. Maybe they focus on one in like this next arc 3, and then the other one in arc 4, or maybe both with it. But definitely I see focus on the underworld. Like the story is going to be Chrome, getting through to Chrome. They're ending this off with like Zodiac. For sure the battles of Zodiac, I think, are going to end this entire thing. I don't see them ending like the battles and everything with like Chrome in like the last episode at this stage. I can imagine them taking it to the next series or arc, because even the story with him, he's literally got the mask on, the Common Y mask on, and he's got his alias as Common Y, which not many people know who Common Y is. Everybody knows who Common Z is because Shieru or Seal unmasked during the final of the first arc. And with this, the only people that really know who Common Y is like Persona, Pendragon, those in the underworld, and I don't even know if Omega and like Zodiac know. Maybe they do because they're part of the underworld, but yeah, it's not like too clear like she knows that or not. But like, not that many people know who Common Y is. It's like how it is with Common X. But even I'd say about as many people know about Common X as Common Y, but like same sort of group. So like the public, they don't know who he is, and that'll be the big time focus. I would love it if like X and Chrome have a battle as like Common X and Common Y in the next arc, and then it leads to like some Louis Red Eye type of stuff. So when Louis and Red Eye faced off in season 2, when they faced off, Longinus won. Louis beat Red Eye, and then his mask cracked, and it revealed him to be Shu. It would be crazy if that's like a similar type of thing. It'll pay homage to Burst if they do that, like Common X versus Common Y, because you know that Jackson and Chrome battle is coming again, you know, like, or Common X, except it's Common X, Common Y this time, and then like Jackson still breaks through, or Blader X or Common X wins, beats Common Y, and then it reveals like the mask cracks and it reveals his face, and then everybody finds out it's Chrome. Like X's mask cracks, Y's mask cracks, but his breaks, and then it reveals that it's Chrome. That'll be crazy. It'll be even wilder if like this man goes either on like a full wild Spriggan Requiem type of like approach, like they make him even stronger, and then they're like, hey, we're gonna upgrade the dragon and we're gonna make Impact Dragoon, and that's how he gets Impact Dragoon. Either that, or it's like he becomes one with the power of Impact Drake and the Demon Dragon, and then that's how he makes Impact Dragoon. But I could see us getting an Impact Dragoon as a result of this. And it being UX. I don't think they're going to put in like CX left rotation yet. They're trying to keep the balance with things, and it shows, because they're clearly, Hasbro and TT are like scared as shit of things becoming like a just full like spin steel meta again, because that's how it's gone over time with every single series, truth be told. Like the rubber spin stealers, I mean, come on, Metal Fight Beyblade, Medio El Drago, when Medio El Drago came in, it's so strong it even fights against freaking like 4D bays if you set it up the right way and you launch it the right way. Even like I'd say Synchromes, it is a troll bay that is literally that strong that even though it came out in season 2, it can still like do that, you know. But especially in the case of Burst, I mean, Fafnir, Spriggan, yeah, like Spriggan Requiem, Drain Fafnir, all the Fafnirs in general, basically. Even like Helios and Hyperion with season 7, because of how like the rubber was put on them, like just a big time spin steel type of setup, you know, with things. And definitely trying to avoid that and maintain the balance with it so it doesn't become just like that. So if there's a Dragoon, I see us getting like a UX Dragoon left rotation before we get CX, because they're definitely going to try to keep the balance with this, and even making it where like that thing's not going to be insane, because we already see Cobalt Dragoon Elevate combos everywhere. So imagine like Impact Dragoon if they did that with rubber spin steel like Elevate combos. I can imagine it being a thing in time, but like maintaining the balance so it's not overpowered and designing it the right way. It's going to be all about the design and everything with it, and it shows with these bays. I mean, Aero Pegasus being a good example. Like, it's strong, but it's like, it's not insanely overpowered. People use it a lot, yes, but it's not insanely overpowered. The way they even have the blades and such with it, where it can hit and it has the weight and such, but not being overpowered and insane to beat. I think that for any bay. Honestly, even Wizard Rod. Just Wizard Rod's so annoying because everybody uses it and such, and that being the big time, like, stamina combo everybody wants to take out. But now they're balancing things out because Shark Scale, even 450 being introduced, that alone I think is going to make it where like a lot of bays like that weren't even used before, people are going to go back and see them and be like, oh shit, this is actually like very usable. 450, like even just 450 under flat, and you throw like Cobalt Drake on it, or like, like Shark Edge on it, you have Shark Scale, of course, all these different bays that like the blades being lower can hit, like especially even Cobalt Drake on 450 under flat. I imagine it hitting like a freaking truck, being so short and hitting underneath. So even like Rod, yeah, has its counters. They're trying to keep the balance with this, and that's a huge introduction with another left rotation bay, so just maintaining the balance with it and such. But what I want to see with this as well, I would love to see an arc where it's like, during this arc, they focus on Chrome because he's in the underworld. How can you make these underworld bladers? Pay homage to season 2 of Burst, where they all had masks and such. Imagine they all like either like U, like Blader U, because like underworld, that would be cool. And that's how they introduced like a new Blader type, like with the mask, like a new letter, Blader U for underworld or something. Yeah. Or maybe they just put like Blader Y as all of them. Like they could all be like a Blader Y and they all wear the same mask, so you don't know which one is actually Chrome. And that makes it tougher because anybody who even knows who he is won't be able to figure out which one is him if they all have the same exact gear on. And it'll be truly underworld bladers coming out of the shadows and you can't tell who the hell's who until they take their mask off. That'll be pretty wild, but definitely focus on the underworld. I want to see, of course, like them expand, talk about the world, because like X Tower now being a thing, it could be like these battles before, changed Beyblade everywhere, it became popular across the entire globe, like how we saw in Metal Masters, and then they set up a world championship. That's a possible thing, you know, world championship, you know, underworld, whether this is like in one season or a few seasons going forward, definitely that type of build. And maintaining the balance, that's of course the big time thing. BX, UX, CX, all being usable for sure. I know people think like Pegasus wheel is the only option, like, you know, blast wheel, if you will, for CX, but also flame and wheel working too. Can beef up things with CX a little bit, but also that they made 450 a thing. I think it's gonna make like Dran Brave and a few other blades like more usable than people think, just having that lower height and such, because it's gonna make where these bays are lower and can hit even like the BX UX bays, and they're trying to maintain the balance, man. The one that's probably the most off balance out of BX UX and CX is CX, but balancing things to where like it can hang. Like I said, we got blast and wheel and it shows, and they're just probably gonna see things and be like, okay, make a few more things like balance it out, so CX is getting used that much more. 450 is definitely switching up things in itself, being a shorter ratchet. But yeah, and continuing to put out BX and UX bays, so like none of them are like left behind. I hope we get BX bays continue down that series, and UX same thing, CX as well. I won't be surprised if we see more UX and CX, because maybe they're trying to balance it to where there's like the same amount of numbers for all the releases with all of them. We got a lot of BX, so maybe we won't see as much BX going forward. See a few, so it's still there, because we got Tricera Press, you know, for an example like that, and also Samurai Caliber being the most recent one. But then more UX stuff, more CX stuff, so there's a good amount of all of them. And they're just maintaining the balance with this. At this stage, truth be told, this is the most balanced series for Beyblade. That's me being honest, like being fully honest. I've been around since Metal Fight, y'all know. If you don't, I've been around since Metal Fight Beyblade. Came in during Metal Fusion, Metal Masters. So, an encyclopedia on like how they've done things with this. Metal Masters completely switched up everything with Hell Curbex and Twisted Tempo, those two being added alone. You know. And then, of course, the 4D bays, and then it just became, like, everything, you know, not so much obsolete, but it was, like, you could tell the power creep in the weight, and that's why limited format was made for Metal Fight Beyblade when it came to things after time. You know, that's how it usually gets. Bays getting heavier and bigger and such over time with the series, and it throws a lot of stuff, like, not so much obsolete, but not used as much. But especially during Burst, this was seen, you know, like single, dual layer bays around the same level. But then God bays completely wiped them out. Then Cho Z bays came in. All the God bays, except for like a couple, were like boom with Cho Z. And then GT, same thing. Super King, especially same thing. Dynamite Battle, same thing. Because like, I think Super King and Dynamite Battle hung probably the most out of like all the upgrades. But everything else, you know, compared to those bays, got shut down big time. You know what I mean? So how X is with BX, UX, and CX after the first two arcs, the balance with this is great. Are there things that are obviously different tiers and such? Yes, and that's how it goes with Beyblade in general. But just even some of the bays that are underdogs, like I'm gonna say the biggest examples, like Rhino Horn, people making compact Rhino Horn combos that go around fast as shit and hit really hard, or like Viper Tail or some of those blades and such, still really fun, usable, And they put in that work. Even like these meta combos like Wizard Rod and such, people finding ways to like take them out with like Viper Tail or like other blades that aren't seen that much. And that's what I love about this, because it's that balance to where that can happen, you know. But yeah. So those are pretty much my hopes going forward, you know, talking about things with like the meta being balanced, even with the story, like focusing on things with Chrome and then seeing things with the underworld. Maybe Chrome's a puppet for all of this, you know, with the underworld, and then like he becomes one with the dragon at some point, but then even the underworld's like, hey, you might be Chrome Ryugu, but we're a part of the underworld and you don't understand the underworld. You're a blader that's strong but not a part of this, and you don't know how this goes. Like, we focus on Bido because I feel like Bido has a big time influence in the underworld, just how that man's demeanor is and everything. Like, yes, Omega's strong in the way they built her up, and Zodiac and all of them, but the way that they built up Bido, even with his personality, is like, bro. And it feels like he's going to have his own unique bay. Like, he's used Impact Drake, like, once, and that was to face Chrome. But, like, he seems like a character that, like, his design's so unique that he's going to get his own bay made at some point. Maybe it's a CX bay or UX or who the hell knows. But, like, I see us getting it in the next series. And I guess to end this off, last thing is them maintaining the balance with characters coming back. So they've done a really good job at this. Basically, during Metal Fight, it was good because you had all the base characters like Jinga, Kiyoya, Ryuga, then you had like Hiyoma, Yu, Tsubasa, a bunch of the characters that a bunch of them we saw come back in season 2. And then them introducing like a lot of different new characters with the World Championships, but they still like had the Japan characters still be a part of things. Like Kenta was still a part of things, you know, doing some battles on occasions and stuff, which was really cool. And Hikaru coming back. But, like, you know, they switched up a lot of the cast, but had, like, more new cast come in. And then Metal Fury, they honestly had a good balance with that, too, because, like, new characters coming in with the legendary bladers, but then the returning characters, like, you know, Masamune and a bunch of other characters, they had a good balance with it. And then, like, the big kicker being Shogun Steel or Zero G, which, like, you know, I mean, at that stage, like, the legendary bladers, Nemesis Crisis, all that was concluded, and it was about recovering the world and a kind of new system that was still Metal Fight, you know. But Burst, same sort of thing. Well, Burst switched it up a lot because, like, with each season we saw new characters and a bunch of characters that didn't return. You know, so we had like Jin and Zack and a bunch of other characters that even after the first season we didn't see them return. A few did with like season 2 and then season 3. With that, we saw a few characters return, but a lot of new characters coming in. They definitely went more with the formula of like new characters going in as opposed to like having all these returning characters, you know. But with X, they've done a very good job of having like characters return. So like we saw Zuganic, we saw Phalanx, which that was a big one. We saw Team Yggdrasil, like a lot of the different big teams from the first series, even like Team Dreams. A lot of the teams from the first arc returning, while introducing like new teams like Goldius, Zodiac, Mist Leaders. Hoping they maintain that balance, like seeing characters return, but then also putting in some more new characters, because definitely the focus on, I think, the story, like I said, being about the underworld. And it would be so cool if there's like a bunch of bladers going around that just have like letter masks, and they're all from the underworld, and they like kind of infiltrate the X, if you will. So the X being under attack because the underworld bladers like rising up, and that being the next thing. Because like I said, first season was on Slash Tower, second season was on Solidus Tower. We know both sides of the tower and everything with them and who are the strongest. So how to add something new in, the whole story of the underworld, and then the underworld bladers coming from the underground and rising up. And then just the start of this being triggered by like the switch up in the Shiraboshi style school. I gotta watch the backstory, the Shiraboshi back then one. That's the episode I'm currently on and gotta watch. But definitely they have influence of like the underworld or the underground, you could tell. Because Omega's the one that gave Chrome Impact Drake. So like that influence there. Like what's her part in the underworld? How many bladers are a part of it? How is all hell gonna go wild with this? And also seeing who wins this battle overall between Zodiac or Persona. Maybe some people who've seen the manga know. Like I said, I don't want to be spoiled on it. Don't let me know. I don't want to know that shit. I want to find it out like when the episodes come out, which I'm sure it'll probably be it's September now, and there's only a few, probably early mid-October, So we're gonna get info probably for season 3 big time then in the story. But I figure I make this video before Coro actually drops, because maybe they'll drop some info or a teaser or something on like the next series, because it's about that time where they do that. So yeah, but we're gonna definitely see, like, I mean, Soul Eclipse drops at the end of this month, so Soul Eclipse definitely, like, it seems like an underworld Blade. It's gonna be wild, man. Like how they're gonna build up the story in the Blader with Soul Eclipse, things with Impact, Drake, and Chrome, the underworld. Already a bunch of stuff established, and they haven't even officially announced the 3rd arc yet, or the season. But definitely one pattern is like straight up throughout Beyblade history. Usually the 3rd season gets dark. Isn't that what would happen with the 3rd season of the Plastic series? I think was it like Shining God or somebody? Like, who was the antagonist doing? It was the Hard Metal series. And I never actually like saw it. I gotta watch it, but I know that I'm sure things got dark with it. But at least things I know, Metal Fight Beyblade was the Nemesis Crisis in season 3. Burst in season 3 was Fi and Hyde and the God of Destruction type of arc and stuff, and that build up, and it felt like the darkest, at least at that time, series of Burst, and definitely the darkest series of Metal Fight. Like, yeah. So it's gonna get wild, the underworld and stuff. It seems like we're gonna get that similar pattern with the 3rd season with this, and it's gonna be crazy, and all hell's gonna break loose. Anybody who's sleeping on the series now, which I don't think there are many, but like, you're about to get woken up. And I'm saying that as a, like, come back to this in like a year or something after everything's happened and be like, yeah, calling it now. All hell's gonna break loose with this next arc, and it's gonna be wild, dude, in the build up even. But yeah, so with that, I guess that's my predictions on Arc 3 and things going forward. Let me know what you guys think will happen and what you'd want to see in the comments. Will we get another new system? I don't know. We got BX, UX, and CX. Imagine they make a Bay that's so strong that it's just like 2 parts. So you can't switch out the blade. Like it's CX, but you can't inner customize it. You know what I mean? Because maybe they see it as being too strong, or we're gonna definitely get more gimmicky type of bits, like how we got Turbo. We're definitely gonna get a Final Survive type one. We got Generate during Burst, and then Final Survive, of course, during Metal Fight Beyblade. But yeah, I think we're gonna see the opposite of Turbo. So it's gonna be like a whole flat, and then as it slows down, it's gonna have a spike with it. Like how El Dragon was. That'll be wild if that's how Cobalt Dragoon is. If that's how Cobalt Dragoon, we get a Cobalt Dragoon and it comes out with that type of thing where it's like El Drago Destroy Final Survive, bruh. Yeah, that would be crazy. Because they paid homage to Big Bang, like El Drago, why wouldn't they? And even for remakes, man, crossover Project Bays they could do at this stage. I'll end it off with this, and then, yeah. But crossover Project Bays they could do. I mean, Flame Sagittario would be cool, because literally put Spike on it. Maybe Flame Libra. They could literally throw Needle on it, even if it's like not free spinning, but like Needle. Or they may there's Free Ball. Imagine they made a free Needle that's free spinning. If they did something like that, like free Needle, and then do like a Libra remake. I'm just going obviously off of Metal Fight. And also there's a Herogium or Twisted Tempo homage Bay that they're probably going to reveal with this next Coro. Yeah, make a remake of that maybe. But what should go on? I think Hexa. Like literally they make a Twisted Tempo remake with Hexa, but balance that shit so it's not insane, because it already broke a game one time, you know. But yeah, Hell Kerbex will be wild. Just give it like Wall Ball if they actually made like a remake for it. But also, like, I know if they do that, they want to balance them if they're going to remake, like, Kerbex and Tempo. Maybe they'll make them lighter, like the other remakes or something, so they're not insane. But they'll, like, finding a way to balance them. Like, Kerbex with Wheel, like that, a CX remake with Wheel, that would be sick, dude. That would be so sick. Yeah. Earth Eagle with Hexa, Rock Aries, Ball. There's a lot they could do with, like, Metal Fight. Yeah. If there's any other Metal Fight remakes you guys want to see, let me know in the comments. For Burst, the Longinus, I mean, like, literally got Cyclone, like, lost Longinus. Would love to see that, man. And then like, imagine they did like Nightmares somehow. But at least like Lost Longness would be fucking dope, dude. At least the big four, like, you know, the Supreme Four. Would love to see Zeus. But they'd have to make, like, maybe they make a metal ball for a bay. If they make a metal ball for a bay, make Zeus too. Like Galaxy Zeus, or like, you know, Zillion Zeus, whichever one. Like, give me Zillion Zeus. Metal ball. I see us getting like metal flat, metal ball. We got metal needle. So, yeah. I think that's basically everything, yeah. Of course, like, Burst remakes like Spriggan Requiem and a few other ones will be dope. Yeah, I'm just hyped to see, like, what ones they're gonna make and end up doing, and to see more crossover project base, because they balanced it a lot more than, like, how the remakes were during Metal Fight. Well, not during Metal Fight, during Burst. Because they started doing the remakes then, but then like the Plastic Gen remakes being honestly the equivalent of like single or dual layer bays, except for some of the ones that had the metal chip, which would be kind of Cho-Z and kind of perform at that level. And then just Drigger V2 came out of nowhere and performed at the level of DBBU bays, and is literally the strongest remake they had. They've done much more balance with the remakes with this, like the crossover project remakes and stuff. Burst was the building blocks, now this is where they're like paving the road with the balance of things with them with the remakes. They want to make remakes that are strong and fun, but also don't overshine the bays that are coming out now, which is understandably why they're lighter and such. But yeah. Anyways, still workable with like Cough Cough, Rock Leon, Cough Cough, you know, Excalibur, and even Valkyrie can hit. Pegasus is fun. Like, yeah, they're all fun, man. And even like the Plastic Gen remakes, you put some speed on them, like, you know, some parts that can go around really quickly, they can hit. They're a lot of fun. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it. Let me know what things you want to see, whether it's like crossover project base, storyline wise, Hasbro, TT type things, which talking on that briefly. Hasbro just doing customization, you know, like how we got Fort Hornet and Antler Stag bays like that. Love seeing it. The cross, like some of the exclusive bays they have, like the Marvel bays, even more of them coming out, like Captain America, Red Hulk. Like, love seeing them do that. More molds with them, different molds that we haven't seen used over and over again. But yeah, still awesome that they're doing that. Same thing, TT having their own exclusives, just things rocking on both sides. And of course, setting up things for older bladers when it comes to the World Championship and such. And you know, events. If they have an event in Buffalo, New York, I will go. That's me saying that now. They send out something for an event in Buffalo and they're like, hey, 2026, March or April or some shit. Yeah. I would go. Maybe not during the time period because of the storms and stuff that happen up above, but like, you know what I mean. A time period, winter permitted, have an event in Buffalo, I damn sure would go. Just saying that now, man. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. I know, half hour, but there's a lot of shit I just wanted to sit and talk about, and I figure it's gonna be a while before I make a video like this again, talking about like honestly things Hasbro wise or like the show wise and everything. Maybe I'll make another one when things are announced. If it's different, you know, just a brief one. But yeah, these are my hopes anyways for the next season. And going forward with Beyblade X in all different aspects, whether it's Hasbro, TT, the show. Yeah, started off originally with just like talking about the show. But I figure hit all of the birds with one stone, you know, with this video. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to slice that like button down below. Let me know how I did. If you're new to my channel, definitely be sure to subscribe for some epic content because I upload daily. And if you haven't already, be sure to ring that bell by my channel name to be notified whenever I upload a video. If you want to know plans that I have currently, a few Hasbro battles, you know. Yeah, that being the big thing. A few Hasbro battles going right now. And yeah. That's about it. But anyways, till next time, it's your boy Kimbo signing off. I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Till then, stay awesome and cool. Shoot. Or let it rip. I'm up out of here.